Hi guys, Tinge Developer here. So earlier in one of my videos, I spoke about the game Prey 2017, and I wanted to like basically just add more to like what I said earlier in the on my previous video on this game, and a little bit, let's say, a bit more critical, let's say, opinion on the game, its mechanics, and everything. Actually, I did say that the game is great, and I still think that the game is really good. But I'm going to show you some of the things which I think really could have been improved, and why when I visited actually Metacritic reviews on the game, I found like some people who maybe in the past they wrote, let's say, actually until not just in the past, but even now, still like people are kind of disappointed a little bit with some aspects of the game. For instance, the aliens in the game are kind of, let's say, maybe like they are a bit interesting, but they are very forgettable, which actually I do agree about. Because if you see all of the aliens, whether they are the mimics or the phantoms, etc., they pretty much look the same, but with just some few modifications. Some of them have more like they look more like spiders, and some are just basically like the same, but with some limbs who look like human. And my most like critical point on the aliens, there is an alien like a really large one called Nightmare. And to me, it feels like they have taken the idea of Nightmare from Prince of Persia, which is like a Ubisoft game, where you have this, which was, by the way, I'm sorry if not all of you are familiar with Prince of Persia franchise or series. But for those of you who already are familiar with it, so they have a villain who is called the Haka, and it's it looks almost exactly the same like the nightmare in this game. You don't see it right now on my screen, of course, because it like it spawns a bit randomly, especially when you progress a little bit in the game. But for those of you who already saw it, or if you dig deeper into it and try to see what really it is, it's pretty much looks like a Prince of Persia's villain that you either have to run away from because it's very powerful, and maybe only by the end of the game you could defeat it. Here they are giving you the option to basically kill it if you encounter it. Of course, this doesn't mean it will not spawn again. It will keep spawning throughout the game. But they do give you the option to kill it, which is okay. But still, like it's pretty much a copy of Prince of Persia when it comes to that nightmare villain. Now, the thing which I believe is again, I'm not saying that the game is bad. It's a like the story was very captivating, and also like many interesting gameplay mechanics. Like the mimics are, let's say, the mechanic of the mimics and how they could shape themselves, and that you need to be careful. I think it was kind of a genius idea. But I'm going to talk a little bit about why I think the gameplay is broken. So, one of the biggest complaints that not only I have, but a lot of people who are critical or those who play the game and have noticed this problem um, is that the game is very much centered around resources. So basically, they are giving you the option to recycle everything, all the objects throughout the game. I mean, almost everything can be recycled in order to help you, let's say, advance or have more resources or like create some neuro mods and so on and so forth. Um, but the problem is the resources themselves, they like let's say if you do recycle something, it's gone. Like the game is just going to remove it, and when you reload the game, you will not see it again. So if I recycle this box, you will not see the box again. It's gone. It's gone completely once you recycle it. But the problem is that the mimics or the villains, the aliens in the game, um, it doesn't matter how many times you kill them, they will still respawn, which means that you don't actually have, let's say, the resources you have are not matching with, let's say, the the amount of aliens or enemies that the game is going to spawn, like during the gameplay. So, so this kind of, let's say, for if you are the kind of people like me, you love to explore the whole game, you like to see all the areas, and maybe you would like, to have a like perfect equipment or arsenal. Um, this it gets disappointing because it's feels like they are giving you kind of, let's say, the mechanics to recycle the items, and it feels like as if you are in Minecraft sometimes. But at the same time, they are making it nearly impossible for you to, let's say, spend a lot of time exploring and visiting areas and so on and so forth, because like the game, as you progress, becomes more and more and more difficult to the point where, like, basically, you will be just running away from the aliens, even if they are weak, just because you don't have, let's say, enough med kits, or you don't have enough ammunition to kill them. So now I tried to think about like comparing this to, like, let's say if this is not meant to be a Minecraft kind of thing, let's think about it as Dino Crisis. Now, for those of you who played Dino Crisis 1, Dino Crisis 2, which was on the PlayStation in the past, it's also like it has a similar theme to this game, where you are a survivor and you are in a survival situation, and you don't really have a true sense of safety because the enemies could spawn from everywhere. It kind of have the same feeling, and the endless spawning of enemies. However, the biggest difference between Dino Crisis and Prey is that in Dino Crisis, as long as you kept killing more and more and more dinosaurs, you got credits, so you could go to a terminal and buy ammunition, medkits, and so on and so forth. And sometimes you could just like keep going back and forth. There was a bit of predictability if you knew maybe what kind of dinosaurs will spawn, but they didn't give you this, let's say, you didn't get actually this kind of mechanic in Prey. So here where it feels quite broken is that they are not like you don't actually have enough resources in the game to be able to explore and do whatever you want, even if you do kill those mimics, it's still not going to do much really. The only weapon that you have unlimited ammo is basically the wrench, which you see I equip right now. But the wrench, this wrench, it's pretty useless against a lot of the enemies in the game because when you try to hit, like if you want to hit an enemy at such a close proximity, even if you like boost the wrench attack and so on and so forth, it's still a bit risky because like there are some enemies that have a lot of defensive capabilities, which makes it near impossible to actually hit them without you getting hit in return. Now, you could kind of recover your health. There are some mid-bay terminals across the game where you could go and restore your health, but again, it's like it doesn't mean that you will find everything grouped together in the same area. So sometimes you will be in the position where in order to get to the mid bay, there will be enemies like between you and the mid bay. So if you do not plan carefully to have a mid kit or some rations to in order to recover your health, you will be in a bit of a tricky situation, and basically you will be in a situation where you have to save the game, try to run for your life, get killed by the mimics because you don't have enough health or ammo, try to respawn again, think of a different strategy to hide. So it gets a little bit frustrating, like when you progress through the game. And the developers, like, despite the fact that some in the earlier version of the game, by the way, this game was released in 2017, and I'm playing the game basically like when it's already more or less kind of old. It's almost like 6 years already since the game was released. Um, but yeah, like to get back to what to say is like they created some gamers at the beginning. They found some kind of vulnerabilities or exploits in which they could get maybe some kind of unlimited resources. Um, but for some reason, like I don't know why, the developers of the game decided to patch all of these exploits instead of actually addressing the question of why people or why gamers in this game decided to use the exploits, which in my opinion is a little bit ridiculous because despite the fact that the developers of the game at the very beginning made it very clear that changing the difficulty, like playing on hard or easy mode, it will you will not get any special achievements or any you won't miss anything if you play on easy or like very hard difficulty. It's exactly the same, which I think is a good move because basically it's like you are not being punished for not grinding the game on the hard difficulty. Now, of course, there are some Steam achievements which does reward you for that, maybe, but the game itself, like on its own, they do not actually give you anything. Let's say if you play on very hard difficulty. So here it's kind of ironic because um, like the developers, they don't want to make the game difficult for you, but at the same time it is difficult because you don't have enough resources. You could play on easy mode, but honestly speaking, it's like I am a little bit hesitant to playing on easy mode because then, it. doesn't you don't really feel how the game is like, because in easy mode sometimes they could make it so easy that you don't actually get a feeling of how the game is supposed to be played. Yeah, so you see, I think that in my opinion, this is one of the things that are broken, unfortunately, in this game. So I had to use at some point cheat engine, which luckily I know how to use it. I had to use a cheat engine in order to get some ammunition just to be able to move a little bit in the game. I don't usually use cheat engines, because I think that cheat engine is like I don't think that a well-designed game, like requires you to use a cheat engine. But in the case of Prey 2017, unfortunately, this was the case because it seems like they didn't put enough effort into actually making it, let's say, kind of complete 100%. But again, I have to repeat, I'm not saying the game is bad. I think it's a great game. The story is very captivating, great sound effects. They did a lot of stuff good. The game, I think, like as people said, it is underrated, but I think like what underrated the game is only like this hiccup of the imbalance when it comes to the resources in the game. But the game itself, I think, is okay. It's great. It's fine. But yeah, that this is just my opinion. Since I've played like similar games to this game. So for those of you who maybe like you're thinking, should I buy this game or should I not buy this game? I would say maybe like the best thing I could say is, while the game is like the game's category or genre, it doesn't really make an emphasis on survival. I would say it's more of a survival game. It's not really horror. I mean, yeah, there are a few jump scares in the game, but it's not really that scary. I would say I would really like make it more or less kind of similar to Dino Crisis, like Dino Crisis series, where because it's pretty much like really similar to Dino Crisis, where there is a catastrophe. Somehow you are in the middle of a catastrophe that is happening, and some dinosaurs or aliens or whatever, and you have limited resources, and everyone and everything around you is dead or broken or destroyed, and you're basically just trying to survive. So yeah, I would say it's more of a survival game. But again, I think that if you are a completionist and you would like to enjoy playing the game and not like grinding too much, because of like this imbalance that exists in the game, you might end up using a cheat engine, or you would have to use maybe some cheat engine to do that. Otherwise, if the game gets increasingly difficult, you can safely lower the difficulty to very easy mode, and you won't lose anything really. Like the developers, again, they made it very clear that they are not going to punish you for lowering the difficulty because the game is, as a matter of fact, a little difficult, especially for those like who are not, let's say, hardcore gamers, or those who do not know how to deal, with games that require such level of grinding or planning and so on and so forth. So I hope you found this useful on this game. If you found this video useful, please like, follow, or subscribe. And if you would like to support my channel, check out my profile, whether you are on YouTube or TikTok or any other platform where this video is posted. And basically, you can try out my apps on the Play Store, the apps that I developed myself, where, or also you could, if you are a programmer and you're interested in learning artificial intelligence or some let's say some simple courses about programming, check out my page on Udemy, which you could also find on my profile page. So I hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you on the next video.